Hi, folks. Thanks for choosing to listen to this episode. I just want to let you know before we get into it that I've done an overhaul on Patreon. So if you want to get early access to episodes, bonus episodes, and much more, head over there and sign up. Next week's episodes are already there waiting to be listened to. Okay, that's enough from me, so enjoy this episode. Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The show is about to begin.
Welcome to the podcast, concerts that made us, interviews and stories, tales from the bus. We love taking you back to when it all went down. The greatest live shows and that cheering crowd sound. It's concerts that made us, concertsthatmadeus.com.
Hey everyone, this is Leo Luganskiy, and you're listening to Concerts That Made Us.
That's what I think of you.
Leo, you're very welcome to Concerts That Made Us.
Happy to be here.
It's great now. I'm looking forward to diving into your music over the next bit. Now, first off, Beauty and Chaos recently released the track Echoes and the Angels. It's from the album Dancing with Angels. Can you take us deeper into the track?
Absolutely. What would you like to know?
Well, you're the vocalist on this one, so what was the experience like for you?
It was perfect timing for that song. And I didn't realize that at the moment, as cliche as it may sound. I think life experiences shapes you so much, and I didn't know how much of a certain events in my life inspired me, how far it can go, and how can I channel it, stylistically, sonically, vocally, lyrically. And that is one of the coalitions of the forces that, we did. And it was a bit of the experiment, for all of us, because they were a bit caught off guard of the direction that I've taken. And, to me, it was also kind of like a new route to explore. Like obviously we've heard all kinds of new wave post punk and stuff like that, but I've heard, when they sent me instrumental, I've heard something else in there that led me to what it is now. It's just this kind of nostalgia with the hope at the end, but also with a lot of sadness and kind of crying out loud. So it's kind of like in between generations. We wanted it to be a trip, and I think, hopefully for listeners, it was a trip to the subconscious.
You definitely achieved that anyway. What I'm intrigued by is how did this collaboration with Michael come about?
So I am also in another touring project. It's a tribute to a very legendary 80s band, which is Depeche Mode. And Julian Shaw Taylor is my brother in arms in Strangelove. He is the Alan Wilder in our iteration. And he's also a brilliant producer and collaborates with a lot of people. And he introduced me, to Michael. We ended up inviting him to one of our shows that we're playing in California, because like sometimes we share the stage with bands like Flock of Seagulls, Man Without Hats, Information Society, even, as a tribute. So it's kind of like an 80s type of an, event. And so since then we, became friends, stayed in touch, and the rest is history.
I like it. I like it. What's it actually like, working on a song with Beauty and Chaos with Michael? How much creative input are you given?
Basically a full freedom. I never even for a moment felt like I was bound by certain restrictions or stylistical inclinations. We just kept expanding and expanding. The moment we got, the verse and the main hook, we kind of like, oh, let's get creative. And we got into this like atmospheric Pink Floyd kind of slightly proggy, Deftonesy breakdown. It's just so that you get what you want. I mean, the whole just got a little bit, yeah, just a little bit of that space moaning. I would say.
Hmm. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, there were no limits. Nothing was off limits, and that's wonderful. I mean, obviously, staying on a creative path, it just has to make sense, and it just, I think, ended up making sense right away.
Absolutely, absolutely. As well with Beauty and Chaos, it's well known that there's also a whole host of exceptional artists on each album. What does that do to you? Does it kind of add a sense of pressure or a sense of competition to, outdo each other?
Absolutely not. The only things that I felt was inspiration and gratitude to be able to share vinyl space, with such beautiful and creative, artists and legends. And I was absolutely taken aback, and I would say flattered by some of the nice reviews from the participants of a so-called CD. Yeah, like I was just, so happy to do it. And I was so grateful to be able to channel things that I felt and still feeling. Ha 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 ha. Plot twist. And yeah, I just felt really grateful and inspired and motivated. I think, this is the way to do it. It's like, hey, the pressure is on, but it's a good pressure. It's not the one that's like, to, I have to do something. I need to, no, it never felt like it. It felt like a conversation, like we were all having a conversation on that compilation, on that record. And I was just one of the visitors, you just imagine like a round table and we just sitting there. I was like, hey, and I sat down, told my story, and off I went. And off.
Very good, very good. And can we expect more collaborations between you and Beauty and Chaos in the future?
I'm all for it. Yeah, hopefully. Why not? Can't be too much of a good thing, they say. Who knows? Maybe the song that we, kind of, trying out at this very moment almost, will be the next one. It like it can go places, with such musicianship and the people that like are working with, and it's also going, heavier and darker. They're all about that. It's, oh yeah, just, having that wall of, guitars just like downstroke and just, dabbling down on that because, sometimes those simplest in your face things that making, the whole difference, it's a, yeah, I don't want to, I don't want to jinx it and I don't want to kind of like talk myself up to it. We'll see. It will be left up to the listeners' ears, feelings.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Now, aside from Beauty and Chaos, you're also a member, as you mentioned, of Strangelove, which is the world's leading Depeche Mode tribute. And I'm probably going to butcher this, but is it Formoda? Am I right?
Yes, for Moda. It means to imagine, to believe from Swedish language. We kind of felt like we ran out of, American words, English words at that point and wanted, something and just like came across, after researching, after just like going around, like interesting thing about it, it's just it again doesn't lock you in into a particular kind of feeling. It's just kind of we want it to sound ethereal. It's just kind of like imaginary. Basically it stands for like, yeah. At this point it is, it's like we've been, going after it for a really long time, went through a bunch of transformation, kind of crafting out stylistical influences that we wanted to have just to end it up, creating our own type of a thing, because mixed genre styles existed a lot longer than we think. All that modern metal, alternative metal, and the definition of that kept changing. Is it kind of, is it, really, really heavy with electronic elements, or is it, more uh, atmospheric and proggy, type of a sound? It could be anything. And, obviously, early 2000s and what have you with all the, Limp Bizkits of the world. And they all helped crafting, the understanding of what that is. And it's kind of safe to say that, Formoda is amalgamation of many, many critically acclaimed influences and bands, but the one can only hope that we are bringing something new and real to the table, because again, it's emotionally charged. It's a story, and that is constantly evolving. There's a certain things in life that are just kind of like never gets obsolete. How can you explain counterintuitive things in your life, like love? It's wrong, but it feels fantastic, and boom, catch 22. It creates a vortex of conflicting ideas, emotions, and it all goes into the music. And this is how those genres become infused with things. Like lately, if we're talking about it, the bands that really kind of got me to stop in my tracks are probably going to be Sleep Token and North Lane. uh Sleep Token are from UK and North Lane are from Australia. Both genius bands. And yeah, it's about that raw emotion, wrapped up with, of course, advanced technology, but it only helping them to deliver. It's just like a means to an end, not the main thing. It's just like so much more. And this is the kind of like an atmosphere, I don't want to say a vibe, that they're carrying that is closer to what we're doing. And of course, bands like Catatonia, Cybrid, they're, Catatonia are from Sweden and Cybrid are from Switzerland. So it's, they're from North, and it's about that rhythmical melancholy. It's just, oh God, man, I can. And of course, the infamous Deftones, that combining dreamy shoegaze and brutality of rock and metal and grunge and all of that. It's just, yeah, so much, just to name a few.
Good list, a good list there. Now, the podcast is called Concerts That Made Us, so I have to ask you some concert related questions. First off, as a concert goer, what concerts would you say have made you?
Well, it's safe to say there's probably going to be metal rock shows. Yeah. One of the first life-changing experiences were happened to me probably around 2006. I went to see Seven Dust. They were playing with, shout out to Lejean and the team. Love you guys. We're great buddies. They were playing with Red, fantastic band from Tennessee, also alternative metal. Just to, I think they are also made a huge impact on developing of our own sound. I would, of course, include Chester Bennington and Linkin Park and Breaking Benjamin there absolutely as well. I mean, Chester, it's a whole other, different conversation. It's, yeah, this human just changed my whole perception of music. When I first heard, Hybrid Theory, when I was 14 years old, I was just, surprised, scared, confused, incredibly pleased of, wow, I've up until that moment was not really into heavier music per se, but that definitely changed. But it's also kind of contradictory, because we sometimes forget things, and we have our first experiences with with music and concerts, and secondary, and then the third wave of that, and then you kind of like going into your late teens, and it's like, oh my god, it's just like they're like those events in your life, they're solidifying uh that, because I have to mention Fear Factory. Before I even went to school, I heard their music. I had a cassette. It was a soundtrack to Mortal Kombat. There
Yeah.
were so many of great tunes. Gravity Kills, Fear Factory, KMFDM, uh, Junkie XL. It just covered the whole spectrum of styles, from industrial technical death metal to electronic rave and trance music, because they also had Orbital and Junkie XL, representing the more of like a acidic
Yeah.
electronic side of things. So it's like, yeah, but I know that I regress from I pardon me, I've digressed from the first question. So the concert, yeah. So going back to Seven Dust and Red, playing that beautiful concert. I think it was when Best Buy Theater in New York were still Nokia Theater. So it was that long ago. Yeah, fantastic show, and yeah, love both of the bands, and that was the beginning of the new era. That in my heart, I knew it's heavier music.
I like it. I like it. And your own shows when you play gigs, what are they like? For any listeners that haven't caught one of your gigs, give us the full experience.
Experience. The Depeche Mode experience. I'm just kidding. Uh, well, yeah, it depends on which projects we are talking about, but just to shed a little bit more light on Strangelove, and that, we're trying to give people that pinnacle of Depeche Mode's best era in mid 80s, that music for the masses, and going into a Violator and Songs of Fate and Devotion, and a little bit of Ultra, but it's mostly, again, 80s nostalgia, because that was just makes the world go around, um, in this case. And we can only hope that we giving it a good name, and seeing people being genuinely happy and having the time of their lives, and remembering those precious times, and us being vessels of that. It's just, what else can you ask for, right? And
Very true.
this is as far as a strange love, and we're just so glad to travel the world and go around, and not to jinx it, hopefully next year we're gonna be able to visit Europe and United Kingdom, at last. But yeah, I don't want to jinx it. You'll be the first one to know. And we've been, we played it in Australia a couple of times. Even yeah, like this coming weekend, we're going to be in Hawaii, Honolulu, sharing the stage with legendary Flock of Seagulls. Yeah, and my brother in arms, Julian Shaw Taylor, is also going to be doing his fantastic electronic tribute to David Bowie that is called Electric Duke. Also, make sure to check out his full band tribute to David Bowie called A Band That Fell from Earth. Uh, it's just, colossally great musicianship, and he's just like so natural and great at it. I highly recommend. And not only that, in Hawaii this time around, he's also going to do his solo stuff, the singularity music. So yeah, he is, the one that, like I said before, introduced me to Mr. Ceravolo and the Beauty in Chaos Collective. And it's all interconnected, and we're gonna get to that. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Something I'm intrigued by is when you're in a very successful tribute band, what is it actually like? Is it fulfilling? Does it scratch the itch as a musician?
amazing question. I'm gonna say this: it gives you an incredible fulfillment, but also leaves you extremely empty. It's those two things at the same time, because when the lights go down and the show is over, adrenaline drops, and it's almost as if you were plugged in to some kind of a simulation program where all of you coexisting in an environment and you reliving certain event that people experiencing through you again. The particularly Depeche Mode 101, iconic show in a Hollywood Rose Bowl. No, pardon me, in Pasadena, actually. Good evening, Pasadena! Yeah. Eh, that. And then when it's over, it's time to go back to reality. And you go out there, you meet people, you're saying hellos, you're taking pictures. We're trying to meet everyone and have conversations with them and shake their hands, taking pictures, sharing stories, and it fulfills you, overwhelms you so much, only to leave you emptier than you were. And it goes in that cycle. Like, I don't mean to be over dramatic with that, but it's a contradiction, just like being in love with a person that hurts you a lot. It's the cycles of hurting. I am quoting a new Stain song, which is also made a great influence on me. Aaron Lewis, yes. Cycles of hurting. That too, yeah.
Great band.
Oh, absolutely.
And shows that you've played with both projects, is there one you would consider the best, a high point of your career?
Again, amazing question. So I think that with Strangelove, just for some reason, I can't help but go back to our show in Italy, Milan. And it's mostly because of the audience, because they're just so musical and so supportive. I remember how they were singing beautifully for an extra minute at the end of the But Not Tonight song. It was like a football, soccer match audience, just all of them, like, was probably like 1,200 people, just singing those anthemic synth lines just perfectly for over a minute. They're just going and going, and that just like really stuck with me. And with Formoda, we had an honor to open for Stepping Westward / The Dreaming, maybe like 8 years ago, and another one, Chris Hall, Stepping Westward, all right, is one of my biggest influences as well. And they recently played at Echoplex in Los Angeles. Unfortunately, I missed them. And yeah, it just, like I was saying before, everything is interconnected. Carlton Boast is, playing guitar, with them, and he also plays in Berlin with Terry Nunn and our drummer Christopher J. Olivas. uh, was in Berlin for 20 years and shared the stage with Terry Nunn and Carlton Boast, who's in Stepping Westward. So it's all interconnected. And now Chris, is playing with us. This is just again, I digress. Um, uh, yeah, so Italy, Milan, Strangelove, and with Formoda, it's opening, sharing the stage with Stepping Westward. The Dreaming. Yeah, Chris Hall. That was really phenomenal, and we are hoping, both of those things will only bring fulfillment, and balance each other out. That's what I wish to every artist and to ourselves, to find that balance and just, yeah, keep the fulfillment and inspiration going, so to speak.
Exactly, exactly. And before we dive into the last couple of questions, then, future plans for yourself with both projects, with Beauty and Chaos, what can you share with us?
Yeah, we're just gonna continue, all of us, collectively writing and see what happens. Uh, Nothing is off limits as far as the music. Like everybody's playing in diverse enough musical projects outside of those realms. And like I've recently had a conversation with Michael about how he managed to have such a broad spectrum of performers on the very same compilation, and it just makes sense. It works seamlessly. Nothing feels out of place. So we would just, want to continue that. Can't be too much of a good thing. I'm repeating myself, but yeah, but just all of the, projects, because it's a part of the, if like the same idea, if you may. And yeah, it's just, people come into our lives and leave a mark, and it can really unlock something in you. I'm actually right now kind of quoting a person that says that to me. Um, Beautiful human being. Um, yeah, it's there is a lot to say in our lyrics to sing, chords to play, buttons to push, faders to move. Ah, ah, ah.
That's it. That's it. We'll dive into the last couple of questions. So there are a couple of fun random ones. First off, besides music, what are you currently obsessed with?
Obsessed. That's a great question. Yeah, you can call it obsession. I'm just because I'm kind of constantly on the go, and you have to stay healthy and in shape. And it's safe to say that I'm a little bit obsessed with the healthy lifestyle and nutrition, and learning more about uh, how to preserve energy, getting enough sleep.
Absolutely. Very true. Very true. Listen, Leo, this has been an absolute blast now. Thanks a million.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
That's what I think of you.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. And if you're interested in signing up to Band Builder Academy, use the link in the show notes below and enter the code CONCERTS and you'll receive 10% off. So, until next time, keep rocking. Hey, what are you guys still doing here? The show's over. It's over. You can go home. Go on. We'll see you next time. We'll be here.